Hello! Hello, 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 hello. It is me! Poltergeist! Hello! I'm still getting stuff set up, but it's good to see everybody here. Let me know if the music is too loud or anything. I think I have sent out all of my little social media announcements to be like, hey, I'm doing the thing. It me. What am I looking for? That's what I'm looking for. That one. Just have to get my iPad set up and ready to go. Not now. Ow. Hope everybody's having a good time, a good day. I'm doing alright. My legs are itchy because I got eaten up by mosquitoes. It's rude. Absolutely rude and uncalled for. Stealing my blood and all that. Having a good one, yeah. Well, that's good to hear. Mosquitoes are so petty. They are. I had one. Oh, hi, Tuna. I forgot you were still in here. I had one yesterday while I was out watering the plants in our veggie garden. I guess get mad that it couldn't get to me. So it bit me on the back of my neck. And it's like, I'm gonna bite your arm. I'm gonna do this. And then when I wouldn't let it, it bit me on the back of my neck. So, you know, that was rude. And uncalled for. Okay. Let me go ahead and get the art loaded up. Tuna, what are you doing? Hold on, just one second. Would you like help? Do you want this? There you go, buddy. I'm assuming that's what you wanted. No! Okay. I wasn't trying to chase you out it. Oh, that's you. Okay. Nothing like the cat giving me a heart attack, thinking I almost kicked my water bottle over. Nope, just nudged the cat. That's fine. Alright. Alright. And, I found my backdrop image. So now, when I have my iPad up, it won't just be, it won't just be the iPad screen in a black void. Speaking of which, oh, it's probably this one. Is it this one? Oh, are we? No, why? At existing. Why would we just use the one that... What? Okay. Yay, technical difficulties. Hold on a second. Boop. Yes, I want to get rid of that one. This one. Yeah, so you should... Why aren't you... There we go. I don't know why that was being difficult, but it doesn't matter now because it's fixed and it's going and it's great. Leave my dice alone, Tuna. You were gonna be the unofficial stream mascot. I'm pretty sure you have shown up in every stream and caused some sort of shenanigans. Please don't go in there. Alright. I'm gonna mute my mic real quick so that I can open something without crackling it all in the mic, so just a second. Alright, I am here. I am back. And excuse me, we are back with the trio. Me inking some artwork that I did that I'm working on of my characters from my comic Bounty. Imshin, Lucky, and Mycena from left to right. Yeah, left to right. Imshin, Lucky, and Mycena. That's the brush that I was using. But yeah, aside from being chewed up by mosquitoes and the like, I've actually had a pretty decent day. I have had a few moments where I've forgotten that it's Friday. So it's been fun. It's like, oh yeah, it's Saturday, which means tomorrow's Sunday. Nope. Got one more, a whole other day left. How do I want to do this? Ooh, that's not the eraser I want. Actually, you know what? We're just gonna follow all the way through, and then we can just erase that later. so far, aside from the mosquito bites, the day's been pretty chill for me. Had a dentist appointment, had some other errands to run, got those all done. It was actually really nice outside, temperature wise. Especially compared to what it's been lately. So that was nice. And just being outside, walking around in it. Today's been hectic, kind of busy the past week, but I haven't gotten much sleep. No! You have to take care of yourself. Sleep is important. But I do get that. I've had a couple last couple of days been a little yeah, I think that's generous. They've been a little stressful. Thought our AC unit was breaking. Apparently it's been so stressful I've forgotten English. But yeah, thought our AC unit was broken. At different points throughout this week. So good news is it's not. The issues that we had seem to be actual easy fixes. And everything was good and golden, so really happy for that. But yeah, there were a few days that I didn't sleep well because, worried about the AC unit. Also didn't sleep well because when we first found out the issue, we first discovered the issue Sunday night as we were coming upstairs and realized that it had been leaking because there was water in our bedroom where there should not be water. So yeah, sleeping in, the guest bedroom and stuff, not on our usual bed, leads things to be a little uncomfy. You make do, but at the same time it's just like, wow, I wish I could be sleeping in my bed. Oh boy, yeah. It was definitely one of those moments where I first came in and I was like, oh no, one of the cats has either gotten sick or maybe done something completely out of character and peed on the bed, but it doesn't smell like pee. And why did I just hear water dripping more? And wait a minute, that's coming from the ceiling. That's not supposed to do that. So yeah, and then, obviously that then leads to you going into I gotta fix it mode. So that was fun. And then they weren't able to come out and see us until Wednesday, which, it's definitely what you want to hear. Fortunately, though, as stressful of a situation as it was, we were really fortunate because from basically Sunday night to all day Wednesday, it was some of the lowest temperatures that we've had recently. So, cracking a few windows during the day and stuff like that made everything much more bearable than it probably would have been had, this happened during the hottest part of last week. So yeah, real grateful for that. But yeah, it seems we had a little bit of a concern this morning that a unit might still not be might be trying to break on us. But it all seems like everything's been sorted out and taken care of, and everything is good to go, which is great, and is now one less thing I have to be concerned about. So, real happy that that's over. But yeah, as you can imagine, we weren't exactly sleeping as comfy cozy as one would have liked the last couple of days. But like I said, it all seems to have the problem seems to have resolved itself. Like everything's been sorted out and taken care of, so very grateful, super thankful it wasn't anything serious, and now we can focus on other things. Who knows, maybe one of those other things will finally be me getting around to doing the stair project that I've had in mind for a while in our house. Because we have these we have mostly hardwood floors throughout our house, which I love. And we have these beautiful stairs that have this carpet runner on them that I do not like. And I've been putting off tearing up the carpet runner. But I kind of want to get rid of it because it's not I was like, it's gonna sound really mean to be like, it's ugly. It's not the ugliest carpet I've ever seen, but it's not my jam, and I don't really want it. So, my thought is to, well, it does help with traction. Could easily get like little kind of carpeted strips that go across the top of the hardwoods to, help keep people from potentially slipping and falling down the stairs. But I do want to rip up the liner and strip off some of the paint that has been put on the steps. And I remember seeing this somewhere, but I would like to paint I guess you could call them the face of the steps. I'd like to paint them like a dark blue, and then paint stars on them, just to add like, like just cause. My husband was teasing me earlier about something completely different, and he was like, we're old enough to where we don't have to justify any of the things that we do anymore. That whole millennial need to be like, well, I like it because of this, or it's because I want to do, like, it doesn't matter. If I want to paint stars and constellations and stuff on my stairs, I can, and I don't have to give any sort of justification as to why I'm doing it. But yeah, like, I saw the idea and I thought it would look neat and I'm also an adult with a house, and nobody can tell me how to decorate it. And so I'm going to take advantage of that as much as possible, because it's my house, and nobody can stop me. Well, correction. I guess the one person who could stop me would technically be my husband, but he's not gonna stop me because anytime I run an idea by him, he's just like, "No, that sounds great. I love it. Go ahead, do the thing." And then I do. Like, he straight up told me that if he doesn't like something that I'm gonna do, he'll let me know. And he has before, when I was showing him paint samples, and I was like, "What do you think about these colors?" And the one color he didn't like also turned out to be the one color that I ended up also not liking. Because I thought it would look different until I put it on the wall. And then I was like, no, I don't like that as much as I thought I would. You know, where this is gonna basically end up cutting him off right at his crotch. I mean, I guess that's fine. It's fine. I'm done with that. And completely unrelated to previous comments, I'm trying to like retrain myself to look at the screen, to look at my computer screen and not down at my iPad. Mostly so that I can try and fix my posture and not be so shrimpy. But also because when I first started doing digital stuff, I didn't have a screen tablet. And I keep having, I think I had this thought when I first started streaming where I was like, wait a minute. I started out used to like staring at the computer screen and drawing without looking down at my hand. So like why don't I just do that again? But yeah, that's where that brief that's where that concentrated pause came from. It was like, let me see if I can do this. Hold on, I'm having to concentrate real hard. So, it'll just take some practice to get back there, but I'll get back there. forgot to do his scar. Which is actually kind of funny because I'm pretty sure when I was doing the sketch, I also almost forgot to put that in there. There we go. That's better. Alright, next step is Miss Girly Pop. Nope. Oh my god, I just gave her the biggest wing. Such a dramatic eyeliner. Can't talk, that's how I sometimes do my eyeliner. Like, I'll get one eye very dramatic and it's like, ooh. And then I'll go in to do the other one and it's like, oh yeah. Now I've gotta, you know, the old mantra, sisters not twins. Ooh. There we go. That's better. Hold on just one second. I need to check something. I think my phone buzzed. Why are you making noise? I don't know why my phone did that. All of a sudden it was just like, I'm gonna play a video that you can't see. So you're just gonna have to deal with noise coming out of me from nowhere. Oh, gee, thanks. go. I like that better. I am on the right layer. I was about to be like, I don't remember if I'm drawing this on the right layer. You know, as is tradition. I may have to... Where is he? There he is. We're gonna disappear you real quick. Just so I can... Actually... And we're gonna disappear you real quick. So I can see where her sketch lines are. Hands are weird. Okay. First things first. We're gonna slice that off, and then we're just gonna make that. There we go. That's better. Actually, I'm gonna be honest, that should probably be still a little bit bigger. Like, it doesn't need to be a huge hand, but it definitely needs to be bigger than what it was, and that's still... Sorry, my brain was like, no, you're making it way too big. And then I zoomed out and I was looking at it and it's like, no, that seems still too small. There we go. That's better. Hands are hard. Even after getting much better at them, hands are still... They're tricky and they're hard. No, my watch got cut. That was such a good line. Don't like that. You know what? We're just not gonna do that. That's fine. Those lines aren't necessary. Alright, let's bring everybody back. And then let's go in and erase some lines. Left is her hair and his hand, but what's left on her, they're all so precious. Oh, thanks. I love them very much. Do not hold me to what I just said when later pages in the comic come up. No, that's not fair. I still love them. They're just, you know, they're gonna be going through some stuff. as is tradition. Now I'm trying to decide how I'm gonna do Mycena's hair. If I do it the way that I usually render her hair, if I do it different. They must. Yeah, no, they're... It's not really a slice of life sort of situation. Like they're definitely there will be some character growth, and you can't have growth without a little bit of chafing. So, you know, they'll be fine. They're all gonna be fine. You know, that is a poorly rendered finger. Yeah, no, they're gonna be okay. They're probably not gonna like it, but they're gonna be okay. And you know what? That's also fine. Oh, I don't like that one. No. Also, I'm not being weird and haven't forgotten that, like, the others also have fingernails. I don't typically draw fingernails, with my characters. The only reason that Lucky gets any is because at some point while drawing him, I was like, but what if he had black fingernails though? Like, not, and not even like like he paints his nails. 100%, let's make that a genetic thing. Let's make that, what my legally distinct tiefling race, also known as Kodo, have. They all naturally have black nails. So he's the only one that gets actual defined nails whenever I draw them. Everybody else gets my usual regular fingers. Okay. Yeah, I didn't plan for this at all, but I want to give her a bow. Because why not? So we're just gonna ad-lib a little tied bandana / scarf sort of thingy. Yeah, we're gonna add that in there. And it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be cute. And I'm totally stalling because I don't know. Haven't decided. Can I? Well, I guess, is that gonna? It's not. Okay. So we're gonna do her hair We're gonna try and do her hair like I usually do. Again, I usually ink traditionally, so that does mean that when I do it digitally, I gotta get the right yeah, you gotta get the handshake. You know what, that one's alright. And if it's not, we can just we'll come back. We'll come back to it. We'll get a curl or two. Down here, the rest will be back to back, and then okay. Okay, we're gonna have to. I know I sketched her ponytail going the one way, but because how we've kind of got her head twisted, I think it would make more sense for it to come out decently. Maybe. Or I'm gonna have to redo these ones. I think so. Make it just a little bit longer. Right, and then Since her hair is kind of pulled back, that is kind of what it should have looked like, but you can't see it because of all of the texture. It's fine. Ooh. It's fine, it's fine, it's fine. Alright, and let's go ahead and bring those together. And then I need to come in here and erase that out. Alright, and I think I've got everything. So if I were to do that, yeah, there we go. What I am gonna do though, I'm gonna come up here and we're going to adjust his earring so it's that is too big. There we go. Adjust his earring so that it's actually on his ear, you know, instead of kind of barely holding on for dear life. There we go. I think that's all the finer detail. Now, hold on a second. We're gonna, where's my, there it is. Boop. I'm gonna do that real quick as I try to find something that has their colors in it. There we go. It's like one of those moments where it's like, where's the stuff that I know has... You know what I could do? I could actually... Hold on. In my attempt to avoid other spoilers, there we go. This should work. That way I have the art there. I'm gonna move some stuff around real quick just for sake of ease. Oh no, don't delete that. I still need that, please. Like to move you right there. You, I don't know why you're up there. You can come down here. Stop that. You should be up here with these ones. You can... I'm down here. Actually, you can... I'm sure this is thrilling for the stream. You're all just sitting here being like, she's rearranging stuff that we can't see. This is thrilling television. Alright. Okay, I'm back. Boop. We're gonna bounce back and forth through a few things for a second while I'm gonna use this syrup brush while I grab some color from other artwork. Oh right, and these colors are gonna show up different because these are these other art pieces I did are RGB, and this one, I was a good noodle, and I remembered that I should work on stuff in CMYK to save myself some heartache, and so this one is in CMYK. So, you know what? Actually, this will be better. Yeah, so. Doop. Whoa, that is a really big brush. That color. And I need his hair. So I don't remember if I made his hair like all black or like one of those blue blacks. It's like back when I actually, that makes me wonder. Hold on a second. Do I have is this? Now here's a question. Is this? Are you two the same color? Oh my god, wait, do I have a color palette for them? Was I smart? I think I do. Awesome. I will drop in here real quick though. Is this one of the colors in the color palette? It's not. Well, it is now. So that's good. I don't know what that lighter... I don't know what that other lighter gray is for. That might have been for clothes. Annie, hi! How's it going? Yeah, so it looks like I was smart and I did make a color palette at some point and then I just forgot about it. So that's neat. It's going good. Had a very eventful day. I hope it's good eventful. You know, not bad eventful. Oh, and of course his scar isn't there. So I wonder half and half. Okay. Well, that's fair. I wonder... You know, well, we'll just go... Well, no. I'm gonna check this real quick. That color. What color are you? Are you on here? You're not. But you're also... You know what? It's fine. I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. I'm just... Like I said, I'm mostly just... grateful that I apparently had some foresight somewhere and was like, you know what I should do? I should make a color palette. Will I remember to use this anywhere else? Clearly not because I forgot. But oh no, that's not the color I want. That is the color that I need for homeboy skin. I think. Yes. Again, I have to keep reminding myself that this is CMYK, so this is gonna show up a little different than it does on RGB. Because colors and pigment and light and blah 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 blah. You know, technical terms and all that stuff. also known as Science and Witchcraft. Okay, I'm actually gonna drop this layer behind here so that I can see what needs to be seen. You know what? I should probably, until I merge them, so that they don't do that weird color shifty thing. I think we'll give him an opaque shirt. I've given him some transparent shirts the last few times I've drawn him in art, so I think he'll have an opaque shirt this time. Well, I hope the rest of your evening goes very chill and very boring, Annie. Or that if it chooses to be eventful, it is at least in like the best way possible. That one should be, there it is. Alright, and then we're gonna do one more again, but for her skin tone. Yeah, I gotta go to the bookstore for a Juneteenth event this afternoon. Then I'm gonna work on some writing. Ooh, that sounds like fun! Sounds like a lot of fun. Also, what you working on? Oh, right. So I'm working on an art piece of with the characters from my current webcomic Bounty. Cause I saw a lot of people doing Pride art for their comic characters and their OCs, and I was like, I want to do that. And I have had the motivation to do such things. You know, energy and spoons and the like, to actually do stuff like that before the end of the month. So it's kind of a twofer where I get to practice drawing my characters and also doing some Pride art, since they are I was gonna say, like I don't want to say they're my first like queer characters, because I don't feel like they are technically, but they're the first explicitly stated, or it will be explicitly obvious that they're queer characters. And so I feel a little and it's 100% a me thing. It's one of those things where I'm pretty sure nobody else would actually care about, but like I feel less awkward about doing anything pride related or anything like that with them. Um, Whereas like with with my characters from Hate, I like with every person, I assume who makes, who tells stories and creates characters, like you spend a lot of time building the characters inside of your head. And so you're very familiar with that character and the ins and outs of them. And so I had characters that in my mind, and as I, like, from their inception, I knew, the ins and outs of them for Hate. Like, for example, Triss is, like, I knew pretty much as when I was creating his character, he was going to be gay. And then I also, same with Janae, but then as I was crafting the story, I didn't, which I fully acknowledge that it could sound like a cop-out, but to me at the time when I was writing it, and it's the, Baby's first webcomic, I didn't feel like there was a way that I could write those things about the characters in with the story that I was making without it sounding like, without it being ham-fisted. And I didn't want to feel like I was being one of those people where it's like, oh look, they're gay, and then like it's never talked about. Or like it's never something that's actually kind of naturally brought up about the character or anything. Because I'd feel like it would just be kind of like, I don't know, I feel like it wouldn't, in my mind and my own metric, trying to make myself happy, I wasn't going to be happy with how that went as far as like representation or anything. And so when it came to these guys, like, again, when I was creating them and I was writing the story and I was coming up with everything, I had in mind, from the jump, that like Lucky's bisexual. And so I already knew that about him. And as I was exploring the other characters, I kind of had that same sort of realization with each of them. Mycena came last, and she still kind of is bouncing around in my head, like the label that I would feel most comfortable giving her. But Lucky has from his inception, from the first time I penciled him, even when he was a D&D character, he was, he's always been bisexual as far as I am concerned. Imshin, I think as I explored more of his history and I started writing up more stuff for him for the story and everything, in my mind made sense that like it just kind of like popped up in my head. I was like, oh, maybe he's pansexual. Like that would make that would make sense for his character and for some of the things that show up in his history. And I think with Mycena, I've bounced around on like the asexual spectrum. So kind of like I've bounced back and forth between ace, like just her being straight ace or being demi, or like just somewhere on that slider. So she's like the last one that I've tried to hammer out. Everyone else has been so it feels like it's come a lot easier. So I don't know if I'm just battling myself with that, or if I'm just overthinking it. Oh, maybe you could have her be questioning until you feel like using another label. Yeah, I thought about her just being queer. Because I was like, yeah, sure, that'll work. And then, the heart wants what the heart wants, and so, but my brain was like, but is that really gonna be, is that gonna be good enough for me? Am I gonna be okay with that? Oh wait, yes, asexual sweep. Yeah, so oh wait, do you mean you're on the A spectrum or questioning? Oh, well, so me personally, I'm demisexual. I uh I came to that realization I think after college, post college, around in college. Like I know with my own personal journey with that, I had I flipped flopped back and forth quite a bit between whether or not I felt like I was ace or demi, and demi just seemed to describe a lot, like it seemed to hit a lot more markers, I guess, for lack of better phrasing, for me than solely being ace did as far as labels go. But I know that being said, I think one of the hangups that I was having when it came to Mycena, the character, so the so her this one there was a little bit of a hesitation because it's like, oh yeah, the brown elf girl is also would also be demisexual, like, you know, the author that created it. Wonder if she's a self-insert. She's not. She is an only child. I am not. There are other things, obviously, that would not make her a self-insert either, but yeah, it's one of those things that it was just like, well, but yeah, I think the last note that I left to myself when I was doing stuff in my great big notebook of everything for character creation and world building and all that stuff was that she was she's most likely going to be demisexual, I think, because that just feels right and it feels like it fits for her. So that's probably, I'm pretty sure that's where I landed on it for her. But yeah, because I put so much thought into it for these characters, and I feel like I was able to find a way where I could naturally have that in the story in a way that made me happy and made me feel comfortable with how the subject was brought up, so, or like the topic would be brought up for them. So that is why as that is the long explanation of why there now is Pride merch involving these specific Borbos as opposed to the characters from my first webcomic, because I just felt like it wouldn't be good enough, and I didn't want to cheat people out of like what I felt would be decent and acceptable representation, if that makes sense. I mean, I also acknowledge that I overthink things. 'Tis the anxiety. So while I'm sat here, you know, being like, is this good? Maybe it's not. What if I did this? But what if this? Everyone else is just like, who cares? Like, who actually cares? Nobody. No one. You're worrying about this for nothing. So, you know. Don't worry, I'm the same way. Well, I'm glad you understand. Because on the one hand, I was like, yay, and on the other hand, it's like, no, that's not fun. I don't like being this way. It's like, there are some things where I'm just like, who cares? It doesn't matter. And then there are other things, and it's like, okay, but what if, though? But what if, though? It's like, I've definitely had those moments where it's like I realize that creating a tiefling bard, like having a character that is a tiefling bard, is not the most original thing on the face of the planet. And yet somehow my brain does not give two flying hecks about that, or anyone having problems with that. It's like I don't care. It's like, oh, look at you. You have a tiefling, and he's a bard, and he has multiple parters. Like, ooh, so different, so original. It's just like, I don't care. I like my blue stupid little boy. Leave him alone. And then, it comes to other stuff, and I'm sitting there like fretting over it for days, and it's like no one is going to actually care, but I care, and that therein lies the problem. Yeah, it's a habit I'm trying to break too. Yeah, I've gotten better. Oh, I forgot to color some of her skin. Sorry, I was stopping for a drink. Yeah, I've gotten better about it. I've gotten a lot better about it. And I don't get hung up on nearly as much stuff as I used to. Because it's definitely I'm trying my best. I'm trying my best. And sometimes that's all you can do is just try your best. Oh, that's right. I put their eyes on that color, on that layer. I was like, what? I'm smart. Alright, I'll go ahead and color in his scar. It needs to be later. Boop. I mainly care/get on the path of overthinking when it comes to writing characters that have different lived experiences than me, because I want to be sure the way I represent them doesn't veer into any negative biases. However, when it comes to things I'm more familiar with, I've gotten better at being more indulgent about it. Yeah, no, I definitely I get that 100%. So funny story when it came to, again, character creation with these guys. So not really a spoiler for the comic. They are all together. All three of them are in a relationship with each other from jump. So from the start of the comic, they are together. And it happened. Again, it was one of those things where, like I said, I usually have this stuff planned out. It happens when I'm doing like the world building and the character drafting. And I 100% stumbled my way into writing a main cast that is polyamorous. 100% by accident. One of those happy little, like, definitely a Bob Ross moment, one of those happy little accidents. Because The main theme in Bounty is about relationships. And as the story progresses, you'll find out that like Lucky had a previous relationship, and so I wanted his main relationship to be, or I wanted his current relationship, the one that, you know, the readers get introduced to be different from his previous one. And so I got hung up on ways to make that relationship different. I'm pausing because I'm trying to figure out how to say this without giving away spoilers for the story, even though that is like eons down the road, so chances are everyone will forget by then. But like I was worried because his previous relationship was with a guy, and I was like, okay, well then I would make it, like, the simplest way to make it different is for him to be in a relationship with a woman. And I didn't want people to take away that the reason why the previous relationship was bad was because he was with a man. Because that is the wrong thing to take away from the story. The issue wouldn't be because he was with another guy. The issue is because that other guy was garbage. And so I was like, okay, well then I'll have him in a relationship with another dude. And then I was like, okay, but would that really be different enough because of like the similarities between the two characters and blah, 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 blah. And then my brain decided, ¿Por qué los dos? Like the little Paso Taco girl popped up and was like, why not both? And then I was like, both is an option, isn't it? I could just have him date both a man and a woman. Best solution. Yes. No, it was great. And I was like, cool. I've solved my problem. And then given myself a completely different one. So I did reach out to one of my good friends, and I was like, hey, I don't want you to, first, I hope you don't take this the wrong way. Second, help. I have accidented my way into writing a polyamorous relationship, and I need assistance. And he was really helpful and really patient with my questions, which weren't anything crazy. It was, oh yeah, that's right, the background is the same shade of gray as his jewelry. I forgot that. I should make that a different color then. I was like, why isn't it filling in? I selected it because it's a different color. Boop, there we go. That's better. But yeah, he was very patient. He was very willing to field all of my questions. My main one being like, hey, so what's usually the thing that that when you read or encounter polyamorous relationships in media that you consume, what is something, like, what are tropes that you feel like are kind of, that are things that people just sort of lazily fall into, and what are things that you wish were better represented or better handled? As someone who is actually in a polyamorous relationship, please tell me. And he was like, yeah, sure, no problem. And he gave me like some good things to ponder. It also made me feel better to realize, like, wow, I'm sitting here again, overthinking things and worrying about stuff so much. when some of the things that he brought up, I as problems, were things that I had never considered doing, because I was like, that just sounds bad. Or like, you know, it sounds maybe not bad, but like lazy writing or stuff like that. So it definitely helped me feel better about myself, that I was on the right path. Nathaniel Silence. Hey, I didn't know you were streaming again. Yeah, I started earlier this month. What day is it? The 19th. End of May-ish. I have not been terribly consistent about it. Trying to get back into it, trying to be consistent about it, because I did miss streaming, and I missed hanging out and chatting with people. So trying to get back into the groove of things. I think this is my second or my third art stream since being back. The other ones, I started a fresh save file for Fields of Mystria, and I've been doing that, which has been fun. As you know, as fun as starting a game over goes, and relearning everything that you that you had once been able to do. Is like, oh, I can't do that anymore because that's in my other save file. So how did you go for you? Are you still doing that? So I'm not still doing that. Let's just say things didn't work out the way that I had hoped, which is fine, and I've decided to kind of shelf that for right now, and you know, if that possibility opens up in the future again, then I might pursue it, but right now I'm fine where I'm at. And what I'm doing. So yeah, I think that's the I mean that's pretty much the gist of it. But that does mean, though, now that I do have more time to come back and, you know, focus more on my art, or work more on my art, and also you know, do the things that I'd been missing doing. And also I've been drawing so much lately, which I hadn't realized that I had kind of stopped doing, like, or at least drawing things just for me, that I enjoy, and everything. And I've had like the biggest burst of like creativity and stuff recently, so, you know, nature is healing. All jokes aside, but yeah, no, I was a little disappointed about it, but, you know, it is what it is. I hear ya. Ooh, Fields of Mystria. Yeah, so the funniest thing about starting the Field of Mystria, I am still drawing. I'm just looking up a reference real quick so I can decide how I'm gonna color their clothes. But so I started my new save for Fields of Mystria, and then I was like, yeah, I'll do that, and I'll stream from a fresh save so that, you know, people aren't coming in the middle of the save file, like my personal save file that I've been doing and everything. And then I saw the announcement where they were like, hey, by the way, August 1st, we're releasing Fields of Mystria 1.0 officially on August 5th. And I was just like, oh, well then. So yeah. It's fine. It's fine. I'll live. That's not really the 1.0 releases will get you. I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, okay, well, so then do I start the game over again for like a personal save file, or do I just let the updates happen, or like what do I do? I'm probably not gonna restart the the stream save file again. That'd be a little much, I think. Okay, I'm trying to decide if just snagging a... Ooh, I wonder, can I do I can. Okay, well, how do I want to do this? Ballots. Okay, that's not what I want to do. We're gonna make a new one real quick. New. Thank you. Some streamers do that. Yeah! I'm sure they do. I'm not gonna. Like, not to be that person, but it's like, that seems like a lot of work. And I don't want to do that. Oh, is that what that's gonna look like in CMYK? Boo. It's fine. I'll live. I also just need to figure out how I'm going to use these colors. Because apparently in my infinite wisdom, I did not think that far ahead. Boop. And then 2, 1 B. Nope. B 1 negative. I love hexadecimals. I heard you talking about Poly earlier. Curiosity or just for a story? So it's for a story. The characters, the art that I'm working on right now is they are my characters for my current running webcomic called Bounty. And they are from the start of the comic, they're in a relationship. So I just realized that the color palette is hiding her face. So these three are in a polyam relationship. And after I kind of bumbled my way into realizing that I was writing a polyam main cast, I panicked and messaged a friend who is poly and was like, I need help because I don't want to write them bad. Please let me ask you questions. I'm still in the middle of finishing. What is it? Hold on. I use hexadecimal coloring when coding personally. Yeah, when coding is easier. And then sometimes just finding the specific color that I want on is always nice when sites introduce the hex codes. It makes life easier. Still in the middle of finishing my writing project. It's almost done, hopefully, but the intended word count I initially estimated to be has gone way over that. I'm gonna edit this when I'm done, but good lord. Yeah, no, sometimes it happens. Words get away from you. But congrats. I think 2 of my mosquito bites have merged together into one giant itchy mosquito bite, and I hate that. Now here's the question. What? I'm tired of all these ads. Let's... What? No. Work with me website. Boop. Yay. There we go. Glorious. I love this. Alright, pass me. This is gonna be 1,000 words at most. Current me. Yeah, no, I've had that problem before where I've been like, oh yeah, this is going to be that usually happens to me though with like my short comics. I made a like sci-fi horror mini one, and when I was writing it, I was like, yeah, this will probably be what, like maybe 20 pages, like 20, 30 pages at most. Like at absolute max 30 pages, but it's probably going to be like, I bet I could do it in like 20 or something like that. I think the final count was like 48. And it's just like, oh, oops. And writing, I'm even worse at. That is something that I need to, that I have been working on. Nope. When it comes to writing, when it comes to writing certain, like dialogue, there we go, that's the word that I was looking for. For comics. In my brain, it feels like, yeah, that'll fit in a word bubble, and then later I'm crying because I'm trying to fit everything into multiple word bubbles, and I did this to myself. No, 9-6, not 6-9. Yep, put it right there. There we go. That is the order that, yep, that is the order that they go in. Stop with the ads. Three, 8, 8, 8. Yes. Boop. Okay, and then go back. Dreading moving back to the US. Yeah! I don't blame you. That reminds me, when I get a bigger budget for making comics, I'm gonna hire a letterer. Yeah. Well, so a letterer they're responsible, if I understand correctly, they're responsible for like the dialogue, like stuff that goes in words bubbles, but also stuff for like sound effects and everything like that. So like a lot of like sound effects text and everything, like fitting that in there and drawing that in there to match with what's happening on page, and then also like dialogue or like asides. So like in the like if you've read any of the Hellboy comics, kind of like the little brick sections that they have that like tell you what's going on, or like location blocks, they'll do that stuff as well as, you know, the actual speech bubbles and everything else. I gotcha. Let's see. We are moving back in August after 5 years of avoiding it like the plague. I mean, welcome back. But also, I mean, I get it. I understand, because like the last, you guys were in, you had moved to Berlin last time? I'll be arrested after the first 2 months. I'm betting on it. No! Don't do that. Don't commit crimes. That's bad. Right. Like, I remember you guys being in South Korea. But then I thought, or wait, or did you... I thought you were moving to somewhere... Oh, okay, Sweden, that's what it was. I was like, I could have sworn the last time we talked, which was probably the last time I streamed, that you guys were potentially moving somewhere Europe-ish. And I was right. Sort of. Well... Yeah. I do not disagree with that sentiment of them being quite literally everywhere. So, on the one hand, sad you're coming back to have to deal with that. On the other hand, it would be nice for you to potentially be in this time code / area. Or, like, I don't know. Are you guys moving back to the East Coast, or are you moving just somewhere in the continental U.S.? That is funny though. That is just... Come on. Boop. Great. Yeah, Florida. Well, I mean, I've got some family in Florida. Orlando area to start. She wants to help her family some for a bit. No, that's fair. I've got, I have an aunt that moved down there a year-ish ago. 1.5 years? Almost 2 years ago. And then, like, I got a cousin, another aunt that lives down there. Actually, I guess I have 2 cousins that live down there now. One has been down there for forever. One was down there for a while, then left, and then moved back to the East Coast and then found his way back down to Florida. So, you know, I've never been, but you know, it's fine. I've heard it's fine. Yeah, how's she liking it? I want to go to Miami for the Cuban food. She seems to be enjoying herself. she's also retired. Her main reason for moving was that she had she had lived in Minnesota for like 20 plus years. And she said that she was tired of being cold. So when she retired from working, she decided to move down to Florida, and she seems to be enjoying herself. She likes the house that she's in right now. Her and her partner seem to be doing all right, and they're enjoying. In between her going on her usual like trips that she likes to take, they seem to be enjoying themselves down there and whatnot. So they're having a good time. If we don't like it, we'll probably move to Virginia, like Maryland. Then you'll be closer to me, kind of, without, pinpointing myself exactly. Virginia and Maryland aren't that far. They're not that far apart, depending on who's driving. That's fair. I've spent the winter in Minnesota, and just no. Yeah, I've never experienced a Minnesota winter, but I did experience a few German ones as a kid. So maybe I'd be fine. D&D maybe. Maybe. I mean, in person, potentially not. But, who knows? But wherever you guys end up settling, I hope you will. I hope that you'll be comfortable and cozy, and everything will work out just fine. Okay, I have these colors. I still don't know what I'm gonna do with them. Am I gonna make their clothes the colors? I don't know. I didn't think that far. I legitimately did not think that far. Is that? Is that on the palette or is that on? Weird. Interesting. So it shows on the. Am I just going crazy? Like, it shows there's a dot on his horns. But I don't. Whatever. I don't see it. That's not my problem. Oh, I just noticed that it gets all woobly behind the little... Huh. That's interesting. That must be part of the update. I 100% don't know what I'm gonna do with their clothes. I'm just standing here staring at their stuff. Like, staring at them. It's like, what do? Oh, the life of an artist. Okay, well, while I'm pondering that, let's duplicate that real quick, and then boop. And come in, and I'm gonna change the we're gonna change this. I'm gonna switch back to syrup real quick. The only downside with doing this usually is that I will suddenly notice gaps where I thought I had fully colored stuff in, only to realize, nope, you missed a spot. It's fine. Whee! If I remember right, I'm pretty sure I've done his eyebrows the same too. It wouldn't make sense for his eyebrows to still be lined in the darker color. Oops. I mean, well, technically his eyelashes are gray. I very rarely actually color them that color. So yeah. Alright, so that's done. Nope. I can take the alpha lock off of that. No, I can't. Because I missed a spot. No! There we go. Okay. Now I'm good. Now we can take that off. And then we can boop! Just like that. Now I'm gonna come in and I'm gonna fill in these bits that I apparently missed when coloring in his hair earlier. There we go. That's better. That was secretly just me stalling again because I still don't know what I'm gonna do with their clothes. I'm great at this. I'm an artist. I'm sure this last, like 20 or 30 minutes of the stream is going to be so thrilling because I'm just sitting here staring at the screen, like, frantically trying to get the hamster in my head to, like, spin. It's like, please, something, anything, just an idea, and it's just like, nope! That rodent is dead. D-I-D dead. Let's go. Let's experiment with some colors. And then absolute worst case scenario, if I end up hating them, we can just go with a different plan. Because I didn't think this part through. Okay, I am I'm liking this color so far. I like where this is going. I think the other thing is it's like I rarely get to because Bounty's in black and white, or well, it's monochromatic mostly. Is in a grayscale. This is part of a shirt. It should not be colored purple. I don't really get to see my characters in color. That is on the wrong layer. Because yeah, I'm usually rendering them in shades of gray. With the exception of how magic is represented in the comic. So the only thing that is in color in the comic is magic. Oh, how come? I'm assuming the how come is why don't I usually get to draw them in color? Or is it because how come it's in monochrome? If the second one, it's because as much as I loved Haint and making it a full color comic, boy howdy, it is, yes. Yeah, boy howdy, did that take a lot of time. And not in like a bad way. Like, I don't regret it. I love that it was in full color. But I did end up running into a lot of problems. I feel like I ended up spending a lot of time. Oh, I like the darker pants. I felt like I ended up spending a lot of time in creating Haint. Not necessarily struggling with color, but trying to make sure that, you know, colors looked right next to each other, colors went well together, like that there was a harmonious sort of thing. I felt like I was also getting caught up in the fact that like there's just so many colors, and trying to pare them down or make things work from chapter to chapter and with different locations. So it became an unintentional I mean, I guess for lack of better phrasing, it became a bit of a struggle after a while. And so it just by making the by deciding to do Bounty in grayscale, I do feel like, I mean, I'm still fully coloring everything. It's just now in like shades of gray. I do feel like though it goes easier, and the coloring process does go faster just because I'm not as worried about what goes next to each other. Like tone wise, yes, so that certain things don't get lost. But there's not as much worry about color matching or any of that other stuff. And then magic being the only thing that's in color in the comic allows for just kind of like that little bit of pop of color, and for stuff that I'm hoping to do, or I'm planning to do, not hoping to do, it's part of the story, stuff that I'm planning to do later, I think it would be a lot easier to read if each magic source has a different color. Just so that certain actions and certain scenes that I have in mind are still legible. So yeah, it was partially because, you know, I kicked my own butt. And also because, yeah, I just I wanted to do something a little different. There was a moment where I was like, oh, and printing later when I put this in comic form will be cheaper because I'm doing black and white. And then, like a rube, I I put that's not on the layer that I wanted to do that on. That one. I put the magic in color. So now it's gonna cost basically the same as if I did a full color comic because that's how printing works. But you know, it's fine. That is a price I am willing to pay. No pun intended. Just started raining over here. Oh, yeah. Is that a good thing? I hope it's a good thing. As long as it's not like huge, crazy thunderstorms. We had some of those last night that woke me up. It's actually kind of funny. I'm surprised that the cats were as chill about it as they were. I kind of half expected, with how loud some of the thunder got, for them to be quite upsetty, but they seemed to not give a single fuck. Huge crazy thunderstorms are common here in the south. Yeah, like the weather had called for it last night. And we're like, yeah, it's gonna storm. Like, there's like thunderstorms are expected in like at like 4 or something in the morning. Yeah, okay, I like him better in the gray. We'll put him in the gray pants. Might make them slightly darker. Cloop. No, these ones. Actually, let's do that. And then where's the wheel? There we go. There we go. I think. I'm so good at this. Again, another moment where no one's going to notice the difference between the grays, but I will, and that's what matters. I'll let you know if I hear any booms. No, that's fair. If at any point you need to leave, I completely understand. Whatever. I'll just leave them that color. Yeah, with how loud the storms were last night, I'm surprised the cats didn't throw a mutiny about it, but they were all snugged in and out like a light. I need to clear out some of these color palettes. Let's go. Is that on the layer that I want it to be on? Yes. Okay, that's better. Actually, I like that just that way. With the... Woo! Whoa, whoa. You know, I miss thunderstorms, but nothing compares to the house shaking thunder in Thailand. I might head out, but it's mainly because it's past 10 p.m. here. It's starting to get drowsy. Yeah, it is. It is. It's 10:05. That's fair. It's 4 a.m. here. I should get to sleep. Yes, you should. Yeah, I'm gonna call it a night. You have a good rest of your stream. Thanks. I probably won't be on too much longer because, yeah, I did just realize that it is 10 o'clock. So... I might find a good stopping place and then head out from there. But have a good night, Annie. Thanks for stopping by. Super appreciate it. Also, mister, it's 4 a.m. and I should be in bed. Yeah, I'm not surprised that you're awake. Like, I could be, but then I'd be lying. Pretty sure I said on another layer that I was going to put them separate so it didn't potentially do that weird color shifty thing, and yet here I am putting these colors on the same layer. You know me, I'll sleep when I'm dead. Stop that. That is an unhealthy habit to have. Granted, I've been banging this drum with you specifically for a while now, so, like... You know... Sleep is important. You should do that, you know, the sleeping. I give her the blue bottoms. Again, I should put it on the layer that it should be on. But giving her the blue ones feels weird. I don't usually give her blue bottoms. What if I made them lighter? No! That is the exact thing that I didn't want to happen. Okay, well, we're gonna separate that real quick so I can... Okay... With that color... I want somewhere kind of in between, I say, as I go lighter. What if little more to the gray side. No! Okay, let's erase that real quick. And then, bloop. Okay, that's better. And yep. Make her bow the same. No, we won't make her bow. There we go. So we can see it in her hair. All right. So I'm gonna stop right there for tonight. I feel like that's a good place to stop. Partially because, yeah, it is a little after 10, and I should probably start winding down for tomorrow. And 2, stepping away from it will actually give me a chance to think about what I'm doing and how I want to take things. So thanks to everybody who came by. Hold on, let me find my... We're gonna turn this one off, and then we're gonna boop. Yay! My end of stream screen. What does it say? Get some sleep. I just had a cat try to come into my house. Okay, 1, for all you know, it couldn't be a cat. It could be the Fae. So don't let them in your house unless you want to have Fae folk in your house. Then that's up to you. But on that silly note, thanks again everybody for stopping by and coming and hanging out. I appreciate getting to chat with all of you guys and get stuff done. As always, you can find me as Art by QB on everywhere from Instagram, Blue Sky, Patreon, Facebook. YouTube is where I store kind of like an archive of these streams when they're finished. So if you want to go back and rewatch some old streams or just have them on as, friend noises, that's fine too. You can find them over at YouTube. Art by QB as well. If you are interested in purchasing any of my comics or stickers or artwork or stuff that I do, you can find that all over on artbyqb.com. As well as seeing a catalog of art that I've done over the years. And you can read my new comic at bountythecomicseries.com. It's being hosted over on Comic Fury, and I am loving it over there so much right now. Thanks again, everybody, for stopping in. Hope everyone has a good night, and I will see you guys for the next one. Bye-bye!